Hey everyone, Kelly Scruggs here with the Keystone team and Century 21 Bravo. It's time for our mid-year checkup on the Calgary market. What's happening after Q2? Where is the media getting things wrong? And what do we really need to know about the Calgary market? Let's start with the number everyone's asking about month to month. 2,191 home sales in June, which is up from May. We always like to see that, but is about down 4% from last year's and still under our 10-year average. So let's see big picture what's happening. Calgary is a balanced market, and with just over 3 months of supply and a benchmark price of $572,000, we're just below what things were a year ago. All of the national headlines you're seeing are maybe a little bit scary, but really they're about the Toronto and Vancouver markets. They don't have to do with the Calgary market. I want to spend a second on the word balanced. That's what everybody wants to know. What does it mean to be in a balanced market? Because I don't think we're typically used to that. Calgary is more accustomed to the extremes. Nothing is happening, or else it is a hot market, like it has been over the last number of years. You go to write an offer and there's already 4 on the table. You go to look at a house and it's already sold. We are now in a textbook market for a balance. 3 to 4 months of inventory, and that's normal. In fact, right now we are sitting almost exactly on our 10-year average for supply. This is about as close to textbook as normal gets. Now, well-priced homes are still selling quickly in some areas, districts, and styles, but we're going to get to that in just a moment. If this market feels strange, it's a little slower, a little more back and forth, just enjoy it because it's not a panic. And this is a better market to be in that sense. Balanced and average are the words that we're going to hear right now. We've got 2 markets, though, that are really moving in opposite directions and causing this sort of average market and balance. So let's get into it here. Detached homes. This is the strong side. The benchmark detached price is $750,000, which is essentially flat, just below last year's price, and we are tight on supply with just over 2 months available. But even within detached, location is everything. The West District is a standout, and it leads the entire city for price growth and set a brand new record high in June with a benchmark north of $1 million. The city center also set new record highs. The South and Southeast are holding their own. Where the detached is struggling is out in newer communities, the Northeast and East especially, where the benchmark price is down closer to 7%. In my experience, here's why. In those newer areas, the resale homes are having to compete with new builds, and it's a challenge. Not only do they not have the same shininess, but they also can offer things like incentives and GST rebates. So if you own a detached home in an established inner city, West District, South District, Southwest District community, you're probably still looking pretty well. However, if you're in those newer communities, you're competing with the builder down the street, your price is going to have to be pretty competitive. In the middle, we've got 2 quick ones. Semi-detached duplexes. The benchmark price is $694,000 and is basically flat year over year. Still tight enough to lean towards the seller friendly with record highs in the Northwest, West, and City Center. Townhomes and row homes benchmark price is $424,000, down about 5.5% from last year. There's just over 3 months of supply, and a lot of this has to do with new construction and inventory. The South is holding up best. The Northeast and East continue to have the sharpest cuts. Some are even down 10%. Now, let's get to the soft side of the market, which is really bringing the overall benchmark price down, and that is the apartment-style condos. The benchmark price for a condo currently is $299. It's close, almost down 9% year over year with 5 months of supply. That's clearly a buyer's market. There's not really anywhere where condos are doing super well, although downtown city center, they seem to be holding on slightly stronger. I would guess that the main reason for that is because of walkability, accessibility, and the fact that they have been around longer. So why so soft? Migration into Alberta has slowed, and newcomers often are the ones renting or buying those entry-level condos. But because of the glut of inventory that we had come on the market since 2020, due to the city's push towards higher density, it has created too many homes with not enough buyers or renters. So, what are we looking at for the second half of this year? Here's what I'm watching. On interest rates, the Bank of Canada is widely expected to hold steady for the rest of 2026. So don't bank on rate cuts coming to rescue affordability, but a hike looks unlikely too. So borrowing costs should stay roughly where they are, predictable, which is honestly a gift after the last couple of years. Inflation ticked up mid-year, mostly on higher oil prices, but that pressure has been easing. And Alberta is one of the stronger economic provinces across the country. The energy sector is producing at full tilt, and job growth has been strong this year, north of 4%. Fair warning, that pace is expected to cool as the year goes on, and unemployment's running around 7%. So it's not all sunshine. Here's the part that surprises most people though. Even with migration falling sharply off its record highs, Alberta still posted the highest population growth of any province last year. We just went from a frantic pace though to a slower but steady growth, which is a good thing. Put it together and here's my honest forecast. Expect these balanced conditions to continue. The condo and high density glut is going to take time to work through. Think years, not months. I expect detached homes to remain firm, especially in those established neighborhoods. Politically, there may be some turmoil over the next little while, but I think we should just keep our eye on it, as I don't expect to have any big reactions over the next number of months. So what do you do with all this? If you're selling a detached home in an established area, it's a good window. Supply is on your side. Selling a condo or detached home in a newer community, you're just going to have to be patient. You're going to have to make sure that you come at things with a great presentation and a competitive price. If you're looking to buy, particularly an investment, I'd probably recommend that you look at something other than condos, as the rental market is quite challenging. Reach out to me. I have some ideas and we can go through that. If you're just looking to find out what your home is worth, I'd be happy to sit down with you, have a coffee, talk about where the market is with your home in your district, and specifically the style of home that you have. As I said earlier in the year, we are in a nuanced market. We've got to look at it that way. Everything is not straightforward. But don't listen to the gloom and doom headlines that is happening out there, as most of that has to do with Ontario and BC. Well, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you want any other detailed information, like I said, I'm always willing to help out. Please reach out. Let's have a chat.